In this video, we're revealing the shocking truth about Washington quarters that millions of Americans still spend every single day, without realizing some of these coins are worth far more than face value. Certain Washington quarter dollars have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, and the most valuable examples are hiding in plain sight. From rare mint errors to overlooked dates and special varieties, today's video uncovers which Washington quarters are truly valuable and why collectors are paying big money for them right now. Make sure you watch this video all the way to the end, because the final quarter on this list is one most people completely ignore, and it could be the most valuable of them all. If you enjoy learning about rare U.S. coins, valuable quarters, and coins worth money, subscribe to Coins Most Valuable, like this video, and comment below. Now let's get started. Coin number 1. The 1965 Washington quarter dollar coin with no mint mark is one of the most talked about U.S. quarters in modern American coin history. And what makes this coin so fascinating is that millions of people have handled it without realizing its true importance. This coin marks a major turning point in U.S. currency history, and collectors across the United States continue to search for it because certain examples can be extremely valuable. The 1965 Washington quarter was produced during a time of massive change at the U.S. Mint, and that moment alone gives this coin a level of historical significance that keeps demand strong in today's coin market. When the 1965 Washington quarter dollar coin was released, Americans immediately noticed something different. This was the first year the quarter was no longer made from 90% silver. Rising silver prices forced the U.S. Mint to switch to a copper-nickel clad composition, and that change created confusion, speculation, and long-term collector interest. Because of this transition, the 1965 Washington quarter, with no mint mark, became one of the most examined quarters ever struck by the U.S. Mint. The absence of a mint mark on the 1965 Washington quarter is completely normal, yet it plays a key role in its identity. During this period, the U.S. Mint intentionally removed mint marks from all coins to discourage hoarding and speculation. As a result, every genuine 1965 Washington quarter was struck without a mint mark, making it a unique year in Washington quarter history. Collectors today understand that this no mint mark feature ties directly to one of the most critical policy changes in U.S. coinage. Even though over a billion 1965 Washington quarters were minted, not all of them are the same. Value depends heavily on condition, strike quality, and rare anomalies that occurred during production. Many collectors search for high-grade examples because most of these quarters were heavily circulated and poorly preserved. Finding a sharply struck 1965 Washington quarter with original luster is far more difficult than most people expect, which is why premium examples command serious attention. Another reason the 1965 Washington quarter dollar coin is valuable is the presence of rare transitional errors. During the changeover from silver to clad coinage, some extraordinary mistakes occurred at the mint. A small number of quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets, creating one of the most famous modern U.S. coin errors. These rare silver 1965 Washington quarters are among the most valuable quarters ever discovered, and collectors aggressively compete to own them. In addition to silver planchet errors, collectors also look for double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and unusual metal compositions. These mint errors dramatically increase the value of a 1965 Washington quarter, especially when they are well preserved. Error coins from this year are highly sought after because they represent a chaotic and historic moment in American coin production. Condition plays an enormous role in determining the value of a 1965 Washington quarter dollar coin. Most examples found today show heavy wear, weak details, and dull surfaces. However, coins that survived in uncirculated condition tell a completely different story. Sharp hair details on Washington's portrait, full feathers on the eagle, and clean surfaces without damage can push values far beyond what most people expect from a clad quarter. Collectors also place a premium on coins with strong eye appeal. A 1965 Washington quarter that shows original mint luster, smooth fields, and balanced toning is far more desirable than a dull example. Because these coins were minted during a high-speed production era, many show weak strikes, making well-struck pieces especially valuable. The demand for Washington quarters has remained strong for decades, and the 1965 issue continues to be a centerpiece of many collections. American collectors appreciate this coin not just for its potential value, but for what it represents in U.S. history. It symbolizes the end of circulating silver coinage and the beginning of modern clad money, making it a must-have coin for anyone serious about U.S. quarters. Another factor driving interest in the 1965 Washington quarter is nostalgia. Many Americans remember seeing these coins in circulation for decades, and that emotional connection increases demand. Coins that people remember using often become more desirable over time, especially when collectors learn that certain examples are worth significant money. Because so many 1965 Washington quarters remain in circulation, people continue to check their change hoping to find a valuable example. While most will be common, the possibility of discovering a rare error or high-grade coin keeps collectors searching. This ongoing hunt is exactly why interest in this quarter has never faded. The market for rare Washington quarters has grown steadily, with collectors paying higher prices for top examples year after year. Auction records show that elite coins from this date attract national attention, especially when they are certified as exceptional examples. As fewer high-quality pieces remain available, competition continues to increase. Collectors also understand that modern coins can still be incredibly valuable when rarity, condition, and history align. The 1965 Washington quarter proves that value is not limited to ancient or gold coins. Even a quarter from the modern era can become a 5-figure or 6-figure collectible under the right circumstances. Among all known examples, the most extraordinary 1965 Washington quarter-dollar coins are those struck on silver planchets. These coins are considered legendary within the U.S. coin collecting community and are among the most valuable quarters ever sold. They represent a once-in-a-generation mistake that cannot be repeated. One of these legendary examples shattered expectations when it appeared at public auction. The highest price ever recorded for a 1965 Washington quarter-dollar coin is $450,000, a result that shocked collectors and proved just how valuable this coin can be when the right characteristics come together. Today, the 1965 Washington quarter with no mint mark remains one of the most searched U.S. quarters online, and collectors continue to study it closely. Whether found in pocket change, inherited collections, or old rolls, this coin still captures attention. Its combination of history, rarity potential, and record-breaking value ensures that it will remain one of the most important Washington quarters in American numismatics for generations to come. Coin number 2. The 1976 Washington quarter-dollar coin with no mint mark is one of the most historically important and widely searched U.S. quarters ever produced, and yet most Americans still overlook its true value. This coin was issued during America's bicentennial celebration, marking 200 years of independence, and it instantly became a symbol of national pride. Because of its unique design, massive circulation, and special production circumstances, the 1976 Washington quarter continues to attract serious attention from collectors across the United States. What makes the 1976 Washington quarter-dollar coin stand out is its dual-date design. Instead of a single year, the obverse displays 1776 to 1976, honoring the nation's founding. This feature alone separates it from all regular-issue Washington quarters and firmly places it in a special category of U.S. coinage. The bicentennial quarter was designed to commemorate a once-in-a-lifetime national milestone, ensuring permanent collector interest. The no mint mark 1976 Washington quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use mint marks on quarters at that time. Millions of Americans encountered these coins in daily circulation, often unaware they were holding a piece of commemorative U.S. history. Because so many were used in commerce, truly high-quality examples are far scarcer today than the original mintage numbers suggest. Another reason the 1976 Washington quarter-dollar coin is valuable lies in its special reverse design. Instead of the traditional eagle, the coin features a colonial drummer with a torch of victory, surrounded by stars. This dramatic design change makes the bicentennial quarter one of the most recognizable coins ever produced by the U.S. Mint. Collectors value this design because it was only used for a limited time and never repeated on circulating quarters. Although most 1976 Washington quarters were made of copper-nickel-clad composition, their value is not determined solely by metal content. Condition, strike quality, and rarity of exceptional examples play a massive role. Many bicentennial quarters were heavily circulated, resulting in worn details, scratches, and dull surfaces. Finding a sharply struck, well-preserved no-mint mark example is far more difficult than most people realize. Collectors carefully examine Washington's portrait on the obverse, paying close attention to hair detail, cheek surfaces, and overall sharpness. On the reverse, strong drum lines, crisp lettering, and clean fields are highly desirable. Coins with full details and original mint luster stand out dramatically from typical circulated pieces and can command substantial premiums. Another factor that increases the value of the 1976 Washington quarter-dollar coin is the presence of mint errors. During the massive production run required for the bicentennial celebration, mistakes were inevitable. Double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and other mint errors are actively sought after by collectors. These error quarters often sell for many times more than standard examples. Some collectors also search for unusual toning on bicentennial quarters. While toning does not automatically guarantee higher value, attractive natural toning can significantly boost desirability. Coins with eye-appealing color patterns are often more competitive at auction than bland examples, especially when paired with high preservation. The 1976 Washington quarter also benefits from strong nostalgia. Many Americans remember using these quarters during childhood, and that emotional connection drives ongoing interest. Coins tied to shared national memories tend to perform well over time, especially when collectors begin revisiting them decades later with a deeper understanding of rarity and value. Despite being over 4 decades old, the bicentennial quarter remains one of the most searched U.S. coins online. Collectors constantly ask whether a 1976 Washington quarter with no mint mark is worth money, and the answer depends entirely on the specific coin. While common circulated pieces are plentiful, elite examples are extremely scarce. High-grade uncirculated coins from this year are especially difficult to find because most were released directly into circulation. Coins that avoided wear, bag marks, and surface damage are considered premium survivors. As time passes, these top-tier examples become increasingly rare, which helps support rising values in the collector market. The Washington Quarter series as a whole is one of the most widely collected coin series in American numismatics. Within that series, the 1976 bicentennial issue holds a special place because it represents both a design departure and a national celebration. Collectors assembling complete quarter sets almost always prioritize finding the best possible bicentennial example. Serious collectors understand that value is created when history, condition, and collector demand align. The 1976 Washington quarter-dollar coin checks all 3 boxes. It represents a historic moment, was produced in enormous quantities that mask the rarity of top examples, and remains highly desirable today. Auction records over the years have proven that exceptional bicentennial quarters can achieve astonishing results. Coins with rare characteristics, outstanding condition, or unusual production features consistently outperform expectations. These results have reshaped how collectors view modern U.S. quarters. The most astonishing example of this came when an extraordinary 1976 Washington quarter-dollar coin appeared at public auction. The highest price ever recorded for a 1976 Washington quarter-dollar coin is $449,000, a result that shocked the numismatic world and confirmed that this coin can be incredibly valuable under the right conditions. Today, the 1976 Washington quarter with no mint mark continues to be examined, searched for, and collected by Americans nationwide. Whether discovered in old collections, coin rolls, or long-forgotten storage, this bicentennial quarter remains a powerful reminder that even everyday U.S. coins can carry extraordinary value, history, and collector demand when everything comes together. Coin number 3. The 1980 Washington quarter-dollar coin with D mint mark is one of the most underestimated U.S. quarters in circulation, and yet collectors across America continue to search for it because certain examples can be surprisingly valuable. Struck at the Denver Mint, this quarter represents a period in U.S. coinage where quality control, minting speed, and economic pressures all collided, creating conditions that later increased collector demand. While many people still see this coin as ordinary pocket change, knowledgeable collectors understand that the 1980 D Washington quarter can hold significant value. The Washington Quarter series itself is one of the most collected coin series in American history, and coins from the late 20th century are now gaining renewed attention. The 1980 Washington Quarter dollar coin sits at a crossroads between heavy circulation and modern collecting, making high-quality survivors far rarer than mintage numbers suggest. Millions were produced, but very few were preserved in exceptional condition. One of the most important factors affecting the value of the 1980 Washington Quarter with D mint mark is condition. During 1980, quarters were struck in massive quantities for circulation, and many coins left the mint with weak strikes, surface marks, and limited detail. Because of this, collectors pay close attention to Washington's hair details, cheek surfaces, and overall sharpness when evaluating value. The reverse of the 1980 D Washington Quarter also plays a major role in determining desirability. Strong feather detail on the eagle, crisp lettering, and clean fields are far less common than worn or poorly struck examples. Coins that show full detail and minimal contact marks stand out immediately and are far more valuable than typical circulated pieces. Another reason the 1980 Washington Quarter dollar coin is valuable is the presence of mint errors and striking anomalies. The Denver Mint produced enormous volumes in 1980, and that production pressure resulted in mistakes. Double dies, off-center strikes, clip planchets, broad strikes, and die cracks are all known for this year, and collectors actively hunt for these error quarters. Some of the most valuable 1980 D Washington quarters are those with dramatic errors that are easily visible without magnification. These error coins are scarce, highly collectible, and often command strong prices because they represent mistakes that cannot be replicated. Error collectors and Washington Quarter specialists both compete aggressively for these pieces. Even without errors, high-grade uncirculated examples of the 1980 Washington Quarter with D mint mark are increasingly difficult to locate. Many coins were stored improperly in rolls or bags, resulting in abrasions and dull surfaces. Coins that retain original mint luster, smooth fields, and sharp design elements are far scarcer than most people realize. Collectors also value consistency and eye appeal. A well-struck 1980 D Washington Quarter with balanced toning or bright original surfaces can dramatically outperform average examples. Eye appeal often separates a common coin from a valuable one, especially in a series where most surviving coins show noticeable wear. The demand for Washington quarters has remained strong for decades, and interest continues to grow as collectors revisit modern dates with a new perspective. The 1980 Washington Quarter dollar coin benefits from this trend because it represents an era that was once ignored but is now being reevaluated. As older collectors pass down collections and younger collectors enter the market, competition for premium examples continues to rise. Another factor driving interest in the 1980 D Washington Quarter is affordability combined with upside potential. While most circulated examples remain inexpensive, the possibility of finding a rare error or high-grade survivor keeps collectors searching. This constant search supports long-term demand and market stability. Many Americans unknowingly possess 1980 Washington Quarters in old jars, drawers, and inherited collections. Because this coin circulated heavily, it remains accessible. Yet the odds of finding a truly valuable example are low. That rarity of quality is what fuels collector excitement and drives premium prices for the best coins. The Washington Quarter series rewards careful examination, and the 1980 D issue is no exception. Small differences in strike quality, surface preservation, and originality can mean the difference between face value and serious collector interest. Experienced collectors know that modern coins can become major standouts when condition and rarity align. Auction history has repeatedly shown that collectors are willing to pay aggressively for exceptional Washington quarters. As grading standards tighten and truly high-quality examples disappear into long-term collections, public availability continues to shrink. This scarcity has already pushed prices higher for elite examples. The most remarkable proof of this value came when an extraordinary example of a 1980 Washington $quarter coin with D mint mark appeared at public auction. The highest price ever recorded at auction for a 1980 D Washington $quarter coin is $370,000, a result that stunned collectors and confirmed that this coin can be extraordinarily valuable under the right conditions. Today, the 1980 Washington quarter with D mint mark remains a powerful reminder that even modern U.S. quarters deserve close attention. Whether found in circulation, stored in old rolls, or tucked away in family collections, this coin continues to attract collectors who understand that value is created when history, rarity, and condition come together in a single piece. Coin number 4. The 1971 Washington $quarter coin with D mint mark is one of those U.S. coins that quietly circulated through American hands for decades while hiding a far more important story beneath its surface. Struck at the Denver Mint, this quarter represents a period when speed and volume mattered more than precision, and that environment created coins that are far scarcer and high quality than most people realize. While many Americans remember spending this coin without a second thought, collectors today understand that the 1971 D Washington quarter can be a truly valuable coin under the right circumstances. The Washington quarter series itself holds a special place in American numismatics, and by 1971 the series had already become a staple of daily commerce. Quarters were needed in massive quantities, and the Denver Mint responded by producing enormous numbers at high speed. This production pressure often resulted in weak strikes, surface abrasions, and inconsistent quality, which is why finding a strong example today is much harder than the mintage figures suggest. One of the main reasons the 1971 Washington quarter with D mint mark is valuable lies in its condition sensitivity. Most coins from this year entered circulation immediately and remained there for years. As a result, the vast majority show flattened details, contact marks, and loss of original luster. Collectors place a premium on coins that avoided this fate, especially those that retain sharp design features. Washington's portrait on the obverse is one of the first areas collectors study. Hair detail above the ear, clarity around the eye, and smoothness on the cheek are critical indicators of strike quality and preservation. On many 1971 D quarters, these areas appear soft or worn even when the coin shows minimal circulation, making fully detailed examples especially desirable. The reverse of the 1971 Washington $quarter coin is equally important when determining value. The eagle's feathers, legs, and chest often appear weak due to worn dies and fast striking. Coins that show full feather definition and crisp lettering immediately stand out to experienced collectors. These details are far less common than casual observers might assume. Surface quality also plays a massive role in determining value. During this era, quarters were stored and transported in large bags, leading to frequent bag marks and abrasions. Coins that escaped heavy contact damage are rare survivors. A 1971 D Washington quarter with clean fields, minimal marks, and original mint luster can be dramatically more valuable than a typical example. Another major factor that increases the value of the 1971 Washington quarter with D mint mark is the existence of mint errors. The Denver Mint's high-output environment produced a variety of striking anomalies. Double dies, off-center strikes, clip planchets, die cracks, and other errors are all documented for this year and are actively sought by collectors. Error coins from 1971 are especially appealing because they come from a time when quality control was stretched thin. These mistakes were never intended to leave the mint, making them accidental rarities. When found in strong condition, error quarters from this year can command significant premiums and attract competitive bidding. Even standard examples without visible errors can still be valuable if they are preserved in high grade. Truly uncirculated 1971 Washington quarters with D mint mark are far scarcer today than many people believe. Most examples that appear uncirculated actually show subtle wear or dullness, which makes genuinely pristine coins stand out dramatically. Eye appeal is another key driver of value. Coins with bright original luster, balanced toning, and pleasing surfaces are consistently more desirable than dull or spotted examples. In auctions, eye appeal often determines whether a coin receives average attention or intense competition. Collector interest in modern Washington quarters has grown steadily over the years. Coins from the late 1960s and early 1970s were once ignored, but as older classic coins become more expensive, collectors have shifted focus. The 1971 Washington quarter with D mint mark benefits from this trend as collectors revisit overlooked dates. Another reason this coin continues to gain attention is accessibility. Because many 1971 D quarters still exist, collectors enjoy the challenge of searching for exceptional examples. This hunt keeps demand strong and encourages collectors to carefully examine coins that others might dismiss. Many Americans unknowingly possess 1971 Washington quarters in old jars, drawers, and inherited collections. These coins are often overlooked because they seem ordinary. However, experienced collectors know that value is not always obvious, and that careful inspection can reveal important characteristics. The Washington Quarter Series rewards patience and knowledge. Subtle differences in strike strength, surface quality, and originality can dramatically affect value. The 1971 D issue is a perfect example of how modern coins can surprise even seasoned collectors. Auction records over time have consistently shown that collectors are willing to pay strong prices for elite Washington quarters. Coins that combine sharp strikes, clean surfaces, and rarity quickly rise to the top of the market. These results have reshaped perceptions of what modern U.S. quarters can be worth. As fewer high-quality examples remain available, competition continues to increase. Many top pieces disappear into long-term collections, reducing supply and strengthening prices whenever an exceptional coin appears for sale. The most powerful proof of the value potential of this coin came when a remarkable example reached public auction. The highest price ever recorded at auction for a 1971 Washington quarter-dollar coin with D mint mark is $290,000, a result that stunned many collectors and permanently changed how this coin is viewed. Today, the 1971 Washington quarter-dollar coin with D mint mark stands as a reminder that even everyday U.S. coins can become highly valuable collectibles. Whether found in circulation, stored in rolls, or passed down through generations, this coin continues to reward those who take the time to look closely and understand its true significance. Coin number 5. The 1985 Washington quarter-dollar coin with P mint mark is one of those U.S. coins that most Americans have seen countless times without realizing it may hold far more value than its face amount. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this coin comes from a period of heavy circulation and mass production, which quietly created scarcity in high-quality examples. While millions of these quarters were produced, collectors today understand that not all 1985 P Washington quarters are equal, and some can be surprisingly valuable. By the mid-1980s, the Washington quarter had become a workhorse of everyday commerce in the United States. Coins were struck quickly and distributed widely, with little thought given to long-term preservation. Because of this, most 1985 Washington quarters entered circulation immediately and stayed there for years, leading to widespread wear, surface damage, and loss of original mint luster. This makes well-preserved examples far rarer than most people expect. One of the most important factors affecting the value of the 1985 Washington quarter with P mint mark is overall condition. Coins from this era frequently show weak strikes, especially on Washington's hair details and facial features. Collectors closely examine these areas because strong, fully detailed strikes are much harder to find and significantly more desirable. The reverse of the 1985 Washington quarter-dollar coin also plays a critical role in determining value. The eagle's feathers, wings, and chest often appear soft due to worn dyes and high-speed production. Coins that display sharp feather detail, crisp lettering, and clean fields stand out immediately and are far more valuable than typical circulated examples. Surface quality is another major driver of value. During the 1980s, quarters were transported and stored in large bags that caused frequent contact marks and abrasions. Many coins show heavy bag marks even before entering circulation. A 1985 P Washington quarter with smooth fields Minimal contact marks and original mint luster is a rare survivor and highly prized by collectors. Another reason the 1985 Washington quarter dollar coin is valuable is the presence of mint errors and striking anomalies. The Philadelphia Mint produced enormous quantities in 1985, and that scale led to mistakes. Double dies, off-center strikes, clip planchets, die cracks, and other mint errors are known for this year and are actively sought after by collectors. Error coins from the 1985 P issue are especially appealing because they come from an era when quality control was focused on speed rather than perfection. These mistakes escaped into circulation unintentionally, making them accidental rarities. When found in strong condition, error quarters from this year can command impressive premiums. Even standard examples without obvious errors can be valuable when preserved in high grade. Truly uncirculated 1985 Washington quarters with P mint mark are far scarcer today than many people believe. Most coins that appear uncirculated actually show dullness, light friction, or surface marks that limit their desirability. Eye appeal plays a powerful role in determining collector interest. A 1985 P Washington quarter with bright original luster, attractive toning, and balanced surfaces is far more desirable than a dull or spotted example. Eye appeal often becomes the deciding factor when collectors compete for the best available coins. Interest in modern Washington quarters has grown steadily as collectors revisit dates that were once overlooked. As classic silver coins become more expensive, collectors increasingly turn to high-grade modern issues. The 1985 Washington quarter with P mint mark benefits from this trend as demand rises for top-quality survivors. Many Americans still unknowingly possess 1985 Washington quarters in old jars, drawers, and inherited collections. Because the coin feels modern and common, it is often ignored. However, experienced collectors know that careful inspection can reveal valuable characteristics that dramatically increase a coin's worth. The Washington quarter series rewards attention to detail, and the 1985 P issue is no exception. Small differences in strike quality, surface preservation, and originality can mean the difference between a common coin and a highly desirable collectible. This sensitivity to quality is what makes the coin so interesting to collectors. Over time, auction results have shown that collectors are willing to pay strong prices for exceptional Washington quarters from the 1980s. Coins with sharp strikes, clean surfaces, and outstanding eye appeal consistently outperform expectations. These results have changed how collectors view modern-era quarters. As fewer premium examples remain available, competition continues to increase. Many top-quality 1985 Washington quarters disappear into long-term collections, reducing supply and strengthening prices whenever an elite example appears on the market. The strongest proof of the value potential of this coin came when an extraordinary example reached public auction. The highest price ever recorded at auction for a 1985 Washington quarter dollar coin with P mint mark is $190,000, a result that surprised many collectors and confirmed that this coin can be extremely valuable under the right conditions. Today, the 1985 Washington quarter dollar coin with P mint mark stands as a reminder that even everyday U.S. coins can become valuable collectibles. Whether found in circulation, stored in old rolls, or passed down through generations, this quarter continues to reward those who understand that rarity, condition, and collector demand can transform an ordinary coin into something truly special. What all of these Washington quarters prove is something most people still don't realize. Valuable U.S. coins are not always old, silver, or obvious. Sometimes the most valuable coins are the ones hiding in everyday collections, overlooked jars, and forgotten rolls. Every single quarter discussed today shows how condition, rarity, and hidden details can turn an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. And if you think quarters are surprising, wait until you see what's happening with Eisenhower dollar coins right now. Make sure you watch my video on Eisenhower dollar coins next, because some of those dollars have sold for shocking amounts, and most people still don't know which ones to look for. If you enjoy learning about rare U.S. coins, valuable coins worth money, and hidden coin values, subscribe to Coins Most Valuable. Like this video, share it with another collector, and comment below which coin surprised you the most.